Good evening, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'll be doing some commentary on a few other recommended channels other than my really trashy recommended channel. I'd like to recommend a channel that I used to follow 3 years ago, but I'm going to comment about the validity of the sources. So I'm going to be speaking to you directly about the Rational channel, how they used to raise the bar of public discourse. Yeah, by the way, when I say they used to, that means really they used to deliver public discourse on YouTube in a positive light. Seriously, I'm not joking. They used to have been a great channel. 3 years ago, I subscribed to them in order because they came out against the skeptics community, in essence against George, the Armand skeptic, who thought that Canada's new identity, like transgender pronoun law, will oblige him to lose his freedom to speak. Like, I'm a skeptic. George supports Jordan Peterson, and I'm quite critical of Jordan Peterson's his exaggeration of cherry picking of words and all that. And Rational channel was used to be this really great channel where database you can find about informations where you can know about cognitive dissonance, intelligence, and theories about debunking flat earthers and conspiracy theorists like the Sandy Hook massacre did not happen, that kind of conspiracy, and about Alien Roger conspiracy, and did some really good videos to really bringing out the intellectual prowess of the channel, especially J and R. Both of them have some degrees of intellectual credibility and intellectual validity in the field they study. But unfortunately, over time, because of the channels not growing, they started doing clickbaiting videos that literally harm the critique of other channels as well. And as you know, I'm the pondering critic. I like to ponder around, like talk about other critics and about other content of videos and show you guys that even though they're great in some case, but they might be less of a perfect person and less of a complete morally ethical person, as you can see, like outside of the realm, even though they claim they're rational, but sometimes they act really irrational on the internet. Maybe it's because of social narcissism that's quite inhabits many YouTubers, especially. So I think with the social narcissistic thought, I would like to apply to R, because he boasts with a lot of deep jokes that in the end, if you think it's intellectually deep, but when you analyze it from a secondary or third person perspective, it's very tacky. It's not very intellectually rational at all. It's not very logical, his line of argument, because he's more of this provoker type of person. Jay is more of the analyzer. And it's unfortunate because most recent videos is where R just rant about stuff. Like, R is literally not the symbol for the so-called color red tie. Now he's basically the ranter, the British rantster. I think they're British, that's all. So my problem with their content is that they lost track of what their channel is supposed to be. I can show you, especially if you guys go to videos. Am I a dirty communist? R Talks 8 Values quiz. He makes the assumption that 8 Values is a legitimate quiz site, or to some degree as a joke, but in the end he just buckles down to the. He doesn't make a strong argument. That's what I'm saying, to debunk the fact that 8 values quiz is not a very good determiner of your ideological standpoint. These guys fail at political science, I would say. Political science is more intrinsic with ideological mentality. It's more in line with ideological thinking. It's not, I wouldn't consider it a social science according to J, who claims that, as with the help of R, that it was like basically science, political science is intrinsic with sociology studies, social sciences. But it's unfortunate it's not the case, because there's been a history of academia where sociology conflate with political science, because like when, if you remember, political science used to accept that smoking was healthy for you. Smoking Lucky Strikes every day makes your lungs more healthy. That was back then political science, because political science wants to get money from all those corporation tax, corporation patents, corporation endorsement they received. That's why. But if you guys are bored, I'll just talk to you exactly about why I think their channel has started to slip up so badly recently. They rarely posted for the last 1 year and a half, because they made a terrible video, I think, making the case or even defining what cognitive dissonance is. If you would understand, back in 5th April 2018, in the last video, they made a complete fool of themselves when they spoken about the ideas engaging in discourse and why people don't fully understand the concept, when their whole channel is supposed to be educating people, that not to be acting like a narcissistic sociopath. You Red, seriously, Red is not a really intellectually honest guy right now, as opposed to Jay. Jay is like more of the backbone of this channel, but he rarely comes in to analyze situations, with the rare possibility that R just don't talks like R's introductions make the assumption that his channel is a political science channel, but it isn't. It's more of a sociology study channel. It's more of with study about human behavior, human interaction with ideologies, and political sciences is more of the climate science, more of the environment, as well as how human it's basically planning to how to clean up the earth as well, like preserve the earth's environment. Political science is supposed to be more conservative than, say, social sciences, which should be more progressive and radical. But what he's saying is more of condescending tones to other people who doesn't know the concept. He jokes he has this certain mentality that he jokes that he is a credible like guy, but all he does is just does condescending and bullish behaviors that makes them sound like a narcissist. Or not just a narcissist, more of like sociopath who can't communicate with people eye to eye outside of YouTube. Coin the term. Okay. J. Talk about. They just talk about term, but they always talk about term, but they never expand on the premise of the premise of how cognitive dissonance works in human groups. This distribution between races and ethnic groups, he never talks about it. If you go to 227, Jay makes a definition that discomfort pressures the person to resolve internal inconsistency as soon as possible can be achieved a few different ways. Finsteiner provides several ways in which a person would be expected to behave from this hypothesis. The problem is they made an inference. They didn't make a proper like a regular Harvard reference or Oxford reference, like with a footnote, but instead they just came across as definition, like they had authority of it. They know Fistiners. They themselves, because it's dead, thinks they had authority to lecture other people. That's very condescending. You have to be open to the concept and think of multiple different perspectives. This channel fails to accommodate that. And thank you guys, and thank you for watching this video, and please comment and share, link this video below. Thank you guys.